He did it. Lionel Messi really did it. Just when you thought the career of this little Argentinian man could not be topped, he went and did it himself. Argentina are World Cup champions for the first time in 36 years, the only thing that was missing from Messi's ridiculous football resume, and now he's got it all. Let's be honest, to many people, Lionel Messi was already considered the greatest football player of all time before the World Cup. But now, as he's crowned world champion, even winning the Golden Ball for best player of the entire tournament 18 years into his career, it's basically impossible to disagree with the fact that this dude, this alien, is the best player to ever lace up a pair of boots. You can bring up Pelé, Maradona, Cristiano, Zidane, Cruyff, anyone you want, and still this dude will reign supreme. He's just too good. You don't even need stats. The eye test alone will have you thinking that this man is simply not human. His almost uncanny awareness of his surroundings at all times, coupled with his incredible ability with the ball, makes his play a truly mesmerizing sight to witness. Now, if you've been following Messi's career since he made his professional debut in 2004, you know that this wizard has always found ways to impact the game, which has resulted in the development of significantly different playstyles over the course of his career. In his younger years, Leo often found success by going straight at defenders, sprinting forward with the ball and dribbling past not one, but multiple opponents to make his way towards the goal. With the passage of time, he began to develop a more associative style, which relied on quick passes and combinations from his highly skilled Barcelona teammates, while still leveraging his quickness and sharp dribbling to cause havoc for opposing teams. And in more recent times, as he's lost some of his pace and physicality, Messi has dropped lower into the midfield into a more creative position, where his incisive overhead passes and through balls create goal-scoring opportunities for his teammates. As you can imagine, it's not going to be easy to select one season above all the rest, which is why we're going to need a good ranking system. The statistical categories that we'll be taking into account are the following: goals, assists, accurate through balls, and successful dribbles. Small caveat, some of these stats have only been tracked since the 2009-2010 season, so all of his seasons prior to 09 will be left out of this analysis. Which is fine, because no season before 2009 is a real candidate for the best of his career. Trust me, I've gone through the numbers. This leaves us with a total of 13 seasons to look at, from 2009 to 2022. For every statistical category, we'll look at Messi's average for each individual season, ranking them from highest to lowest. Then, because there are 13 seasons total, we will award the best season with 13 points, the second best season with 12 points, and so on, all the way to the worst season for that category, which will receive a single mark. As we go through each category, we will sum up the total points each season has across the table, such that in the end, we can determine his most dominant season overall. Let's start with the obvious: goals. This dude is what you can call a goals goblin. He scored a total of 794 times in his career in only 1,005 games. That's one goal every 104 minutes. The best goal per game ratio in the 21st century. Let's look at the breakdown per season. For the purpose of this video, we'll be using the adjusted totals for all these categories per 90 minutes in order to account for years where he played more or fewer games due to injury or other reasons. Instantly, you can recognize 9 seasons in which Messi averaged at least 1 goal per game. Like I said, this guy isn't human. But his averages in 2011, 2012, and 2012, 2013 are straight out of a video game, with around 1.5 goals per game in both. This really shouldn't be surprising to you if you follow football though, considering that during the calendar year of 2012, Messi basically broke the game of football by scoring 91 goals combined in all competitions for Barcelona and Argentina, shattering Gerd Muller's record of 85 goals that had been set 40 years prior. This 12-month period might have been the best single year of football produced by any player in the history of the sport. In any given game, Messi was far more likely to score multiple goals than Bayer Leverkusen. Needless to say, playing against Messi in 2012 was pretty much a death sentence for any opposing team. But what makes Messi's goal scoring output even more insane is the fact that for his volume of goal scoring, the dude was and is incredibly efficient in face of goal. Check out this neat graph made by ESPN. It shows the shot efficiency of 866 players who played in 50 plus games and averaged at least 1 shot attempt per game since 2010. Messi is the 9th most efficient shooter overall, and he's by far the most efficient of anyone with a similar shot volume. In other words, there's simply no players who shoot as often as Messi does that can compete with his level of accuracy. After going through his goal-scoring statistics, Messi's 2012-2013 season holds the lead with a total of 13 points. Let's see if he can hold on to it after we go through the rest of the categories. Aside from his unquenchable thirst for goals, another remarkable thing about Messi is that he's not selfish at all. The man is an absolute beast when it comes to creating chances for his teammates to finish off, and he's displayed all-time level playmaking skills from early on in his career. His peripheral vision is exceptional, allowing him to spot and exploit spaces that other players usually miss, which often results in Messi collapsing entire defenses with a single pass. These are Messi's per 90-minute assist totals over the past 13 seasons. There's no real trend here, as his assist totals seem to vary almost randomly from season to season. Maybe the one thing that can be pointed out is the fact that 2 out of the last 3 seasons have been very strong for him in this regard, which could be interpreted as Messi adjusting his game to more of a playmaker and creator role as his age starts to catch up with him. But what I think is the most interesting part of this graph is how he managed to dish out over half an assist per game during the 2010-2011 season, right in the middle of his physical prime. This is particularly impressive because at the time Messi was capable of dribbling from his own half all the way to the goal, but still was finding ways to leverage his vision and passing to help his teammates create goals. Here are those 13 seasons ranked from best to worst when it comes to assisting his teammates, as well as the subsequent points that will be awarded to each. Summing up the point totals for the first 2 statistical categories of goals and assists, we can see that 2011-2012 holds a narrow lead, with 2014-2015 and 2017-2018 following close behind. So far, it seems like these 3 seasons are his strongest when we combine his goal scoring and his playmaking impact on the field. However, before we move on, I thought it would be interesting to dive a little bit deeper into Messi's playmaking statistics in order to truly grasp his impact in this aspect of the game. Assists are a solid metric, but they do fail to take into account goal-scoring opportunities created by Messi in which his teammates were unable to finish the play, which honestly happens a lot more than you might imagine. By also analyzing the amount of accurate through balls Messi has made over the years, regardless of whether they resulted in a goal or not, we can more accurately measure his offensive impact on the pitch. This graph shows that as far as making accurate passes into dangerous positions, 11-12, 10-11, and 18-19 lead the pack. This is interesting considering that only 2010-2011 made the top 3 for assists per 90 minutes. I think this is a pretty good example of how sometimes a robust statistic on its own, like assists, may not always tell the entire story. So by now we've looked at 3 different statistical categories: goals, assists, and accurate through balls, and ranked Messi's seasons based on how well he performed for each of these. But what Messi related video would be complete without mentioning his dribbling? It's no secret that this guy is easily in the debate for best dribbler of all time. The way he pushes the ball forward at full speed while maintaining his balance, and his ability to stop on a dime at any given moment and accelerate once again, truly make him a nightmare to defend. Anyone that follows football has witnessed Messi absolutely destroy defenses using his dribbling over the past 2 decades. Here are his averages for successful dribbles per 90 minutes over the past 13 years. Once again, his dominant 2010-2011 season appears to be in the top 3, along with 2014-2015, but the real surprise here is 2019-2020, which happens to be Messi's second strongest season statistically in his whole career. Honestly, I would have never guessed it to be the case, considering that at that point, Messi was already 33 years old. Which is really a testament to the fact that Messi's ability stems mostly from his mind and his understanding of his body, as he relies on intuitive feints and abrupt changes in speed rather than on sheer physical attributes. Messi's brain is what truly separates him from the rest. Now that we've analyzed Messi's career from a numbers point of view, taking into account his volume and efficiency in face of goal, his ability to generate offensive opportunities for his teammates, as well as his effectiveness when it comes to dribbling through defenses, I think it's a good time to take a step back and look at which one of his seasons fared best across all these categories. To no surprise, Messi's 3rd highest point total came during the 2014-2015 season. During this prolific year, he led Barcelona alongside Neymar and Suarez to their 2nd treble in their history, winning La Liga, the Copa del Rey, in which Messi scored that absolutely ridiculous goal in the final against Athletic Bilbao after dribbling through the entire defense, and finally, the Champions League, easily defeating Juventus in the final. Needless to say, 2014-2015 is undoubtedly one of Messi's best seasons of his career, both statistically and from a team standpoint. Coming in 2nd place for silver, we have 2011-2012, with actually the same total points as 2014-2015, which technically means that these 2 are tied for 2nd, but it doesn't really matter. What matters is how truly tragic it is that a season this good from Leo ended up being wasted for the most part, as Barcelona faced a relatively underwhelming end to the campaign, finishing a disappointing 2nd to Real Madrid in La Liga and falling to Chelsea in the semi-finals of the Champions League. Let's not forget that Torres goal. But Messi himself neither underwhelmed nor disappointed, scoring a mind-boggling 73 goals in just 60 games that year, as he went on to lay the groundwork for his legendary calendar year record we discussed earlier in the video. And to be fair to his team, they did take home the Copa del Rey this season as well, with Messi unsurprisingly scoring a goal in the final. And to wrap up our analysis, let's talk about Messi's absolute best statistical season of his career, 2010-2011. By this point, Leo had already proven to the world that his talent was generational, having won 2 consecutive Ballon d'Ors going into the season. But what he and this Barcelona squad achieved during this campaign would thrust their names into the conversation for greatest player and greatest team in football history. In 55 appearances, Messi banked home 53 goals and provided 23 assists, for a combined total 76 goal contributions, as he led his side to a dominant La Liga victory after putting up a staggering 96 points while losing only 2 matches over the whole competition. This was also the year Barcelona thumped Real Madrid 5-0 in the Camp Nou, with a brilliant performance from Leo, dishing out 2 assists and providing football fans with what is probably the coldest walk in sports history. To add insult to injury, Messi and Barcelona also knocked out their eternal rivals on their way to the Champions League final, in which they faced Sir Alex Ferguson's Manchester United, and of course, Messi played a key role as he scored the goal to put them up 2-1 in the second half. Barcelona would eventually win the game, crowning them European champions for the 4th time in their history, and cementing Leo as one of the club's most important players ever, despite just being 23 years old. 2010-2011 has undoubtedly a very strong case to be the best version of Messi we've ever seen. But this man's career is so legendary that I don't think one single season can be objectively chosen above all the rest. The fact that he has so many seasons for which a case can be made simply shows that the genius of Messi is not limited to his peak level, but rather it extends to his unwavering consistency. An incredible combination of gifts that have allowed this little man to reign over world football for the last 15 years.